Алоха, ну что, продолжим проходить основной сюжет, а исследования властей я займусь потом. Но мне уже все нравится. Все красивенькое, новенькое, куча всяких сундуков, штучек. Ой, чувствую, я время приключений продолжать буду не скоро. Блин. Вот так вот играешь в несколько игр и все время путаешь кнопки. Я еще и не туда иду. А, ну этот сюжет у нас не главный. У нас тут... Вот оно. Да, нам все равно в ту же сторону. Ой, у нас новые испытания. Обязательно его пройду потом. Новые ресурсы появились. Ой, лепота. Угу. Ой, что-то мы не готовы с ним. Блин. Походу он нас не спрашивает. Готовы мы с ним сражаться, не готовы. Ну, супер. Обожаю так попадать. Что-то мы сбили. Моя пати не готова к такому повороту событий. Она не готова, чтобы на нее нападали ледяные слаймы и ледяные маги бездны. Твою мать! О, сбили. Но это было долго. Зато у нас есть сундук. Но не очень сундук. Вижу еще сундук. Ну, с каким-то здоровым хреном там. Ну, он электрический. Иди сюда, я тебя убивать буду.
Rain outlines your fate. Let me leave you a verse. A minor setback.
Ой, люблю сундуки, как же мне этого не хватало. Указание бренности. Интересненько. О, это мы достанем. Или дайте-ка я угадаю, не достанем. Ой. Достали. Чудесненько. Открыть телепорт. И у нас тут на горизонте какой-то второстепенный квест. Но заниматься я им сейчас не хочу. Кстати, надо подойти к Архонту и резонировать основного персонажа, чтобы он стал... обладал еще и электричеством. И чё тут так красивенько, здорово нарисовали. Сакура вот всякое. О. Интересно, он такой же хам, как из Манштата? Красиво, красиво, прям классненько. Сейчас камней нафармим и столько, может еще даже на молитву скоро хватит.
According to the letter, this should be the place.
Sorry, we don't serve the general public. I'm afraid you'll have...
Wait! We're not the general public.
Well then, you must be a couple of wandering outlanders that snuck into the nation, judging...
Are our clothes
Да не, ну
really
ты
so-
что, ничего об этом не говорит.
What Paimon means to...
The Yashiro Commission's seal. This must be from Mr. Toma. It seems there's more to you than meets the eye. In which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House, a safe haven for the Yashiro Commission.
Well, that sounds more like it.
Ну, послушаем, что он нам скажет.
Well, now that we're here, where's Toma? Paimon doesn't see him anywhere. Do you...
Who forgot their promise?
Не
I was
волнуйся,
beginning to think you'd
Паймон, ты
forgotten about
всегда
me.
успеешь пожрать.
What? Is that dog talking to us?
Relax. No need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you've seen me in this form? Huh. So you didn't see any...
Ah, now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem less...
all right. I've had my fun.
Шутник,
Hey,
ёпта.
you're this close to getting an ugly nickname, mister!
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been waiting here for you for so long. So I came up with this little fun greeting for when you're... But in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went through earlier. It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Miss Kamisato, and whether you had the courage to face the lightning alongside us.
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just because you're getting all serious now.
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies. Let me just say this. You've often found yourself skirting the rules from the very beginning, haven't you? Naturally, this is due to your unwavering and resolute determination. A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same. But when the lightning struck... so you've heard of his story. His light still burns all the more brightly. Yes, of course. I will bring you to the Kamisato residence where the But before that, there is one other place I was hoping...
Oh? Where?
I would like you
Что-нибудь
to
для
come
него
with me
опять
to the
сделали.
statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now, but you can already see it from...
Ну что ж, пойдем к статуе. Сундук. Все, только один.
Delicious tea.
Ну, один так один. Один лучше, чем ни одного. У них тоже есть статуя божества. Определенно тут прикольно. И, конечно же, сначала открыть телепорт.
This area sure feels gloomy. People probably don't. Huh? Are Paimon's eyes playing tricks?
Visions.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt decree are put into this statue?
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt decree. Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt, as for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful ruler and its deity. The eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will. As such, she relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate the nation's affairs and the Sakoku Decree to limit the people's movement. The Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the stream of time to flow from one end to the other without disturbing.
Seems like every god has their own will.
Of course, this is my own limited understanding. As for the reason behind the recent, perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change, and that her eternity doesn't allow for such whatever the case. The fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched the Tenryou Commission to scour the nation for visions, embedding, and this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of.
But if that's the case, wouldn't you say that the Raiden Shogun is being...
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out so directly, and yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt Decree is something that simply should not exist.
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like your mind is out.
Sound? What sound? I didn't hear any.
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then what?
Aspirations? That would. Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, the gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision. So if what you just said is true, then the ambitions of these people are stronger than I imagined. All right, time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
Finally!
Ну, я бы на твоем месте, Паймон, так не радовался. Да ёб твою мать, прекрати нажимать эту кнопку. Тут есть какое-то дерево, как, наверное, вечная мерзлота. Это интересно. Отсюда поближе будет, конечно. Сейчас заодно по дороге откроем пару точек телепорта. Здесь для плавания, вон, вижу, есть. О, феечки. Феечек тоже можно пособирать.
Oz revealed. So is blood.
Нифига, она улетела. Ну, поплыли. Ой, чувствую, жрать придется. Угу, их тут 3. Обламинго. Сундук мы сейчас не получим. О, получили. Сократим путь и проплывем. Ну или не сократим и обойдем скалу, чтобы в нее не лезть. На нее лезть. Так. Надо разгадать загадку, что делать с этой фигней. Я так думаю, наверное, нам нужен наш основной персонаж. Может быть, он как-то сможет это вскрыть. Где-то новые яблоки. Фиалковая дыня. Ну, хорошо, не яблоки. Красивенько, ничего не скажешь. Что это за...
Are you?
Ну, это мы наваляем.
Let me amuse myself a little. Body and mind. Ring cutter. Look at me. Just once.
Как сюда попали агенты Фатуи? Если остров закрыт, если там буря, то агенты Фатуи такие вездесущие. Прям даже интересно. Где-то еще одна. Ну, эти пока найти несложно. Я уверена, потом будут такие, которые хрен достанешь, как обычно. Репутация. Здесь, значит, тоже будет репутация. Надо будет зарабатывать репутацию. А я за эту неделю уже все выполнила. Ну, кто ж, как говорится, знал. Хотя можно было догадаться.
So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live, huh? Paimon kinda expected it to be snazzier.
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guest.
Is this the Shirasage Himegimi you keep going on about? Behind the...
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato is accustomed to receiving guests. Consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro Commission. Forgive me if this is an unwelcome surprise.
Makes sense.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion. Especially, I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. And Toma assures me that you do indeed possess the power at present in Inazuma. In the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share a commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Thus, we cannot remain indifferent. Traveler, lend us your power, and we can... Oh.
See, milady, it's just like I said.
No, please! Wait! Please, don't go! I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must fulfill 3 small wishes
Не
on my
нравится мне
behalf.
эта
Your
трактовка.
wishes.
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps when...
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt Decree, and a...
Correct. Please do all you can to help them. I will await...
I'm sure you'll do great.
Почему они не могут сделать все это сами? Почему мы должны все время участвовать в какой-то херне? Почему просто нельзя нам помочь без всяких вот этих вот «сделай для меня одолжение»? Нами пользуются. Откровенно. Мне не нравится. Ну, сюда можно протонуть. И открыть следующую точку телепорта. Как-то она, кстати, недалеко от той, с которой мы только что пришли. Блин, я хотела достать ту штуку.
Where's the person Ayaka told us about?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please, we...
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about.
Сначала я сделаю свои дела. Там еще одна где-то.
If you want my opinion, it's clear that Taijima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated his vision. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing.
Seems like he's a well-respected...
You must also be here to... Taijima has protected this place ever since, keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near,
конечно, здесь есть все, кроме
resolving
нас.
quarrels between the villagers. But now, all of a sudden. We will gladly apologize if that's the...
You must be Tejima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to... True. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? I don't have answers to those questions, because I can't remember any. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you chose to stay... But if you can't remember anything... Oh, maybe if you just try a little hard...
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit, I
keep a diary?
Oh, yes, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember...
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from leaving, we...
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary.
Я уж подумала, нас направить в какое-нибудь подземелье.
This looks like Tejima's diary, all right. Let's see what we... Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. I messed up and burned my noodle. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was... Seems like your average... Huh? I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still my... Now that's the kind of info we're looking for! So this is the omamori Tejima wrote. Interesting. Looking at the color and the... But anyway, if he had this with him all the time, there's a chance... that Tejima visited. The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima buried something precious here. Must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around for 30 years. It looks like a letter. Konda Village. Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again? But he's been here for 30 years. Well, let's go give Tejima his...
Ну что ж, давай отдадим. Нам-то это не нужно.
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. But still, it's clear that I was waiting. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. And just look at all the things that did happen over the years. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Love, regret, everything I felt, no. After all, I've forgotten who she was. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all these years have been... I think... maybe not. Although, what if she were to turn up eventually? When I think about it like that. How curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember who... I shall remain here.
Tejima seems to be dealing okay, but still, It makes Paimon really sad. Seems it's just like Ayaka and Toma were saying. If you lose your vid, that certainly explains this. At least we were able to help him.
Доброта моя.
According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou Commission.
Зато книжечек опыта надают. На них можно будет покачать персонажей. Бесполезно. Ну или полезно. Я на самом деле так и не решила, кого из персонажей еще качать. Ну, не самый роскошный, конечно, сундук в моей жизни. Так, мне нужен двуручник. А то что-то камни бить нечем. Пробегаю мимо ценного ресурса.
They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law. But why would they take action against... Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some goods to be pocketed by greedy...
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this!
Oh, huh? And who are you? One of Kuro's...
What? We heard the commotion and came to...
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and in the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. He's keeping the provisions for himself, I just know it.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man. But it's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. Maybe we should talk to Kurosawa.
А он ничего не скажет, наверное, тоже ни хрена не помнит.
I've never even heard of the... I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's my own family can barely get by as it is. No, that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping him for...
To be perfectly honest, all I know is that I will perform certain things every month. And it's not just that. I have this...
Does it have to do with the missing emergency?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them to top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders. Which is why I came here. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself.
But we better confirm. Let's go round. We should be able to follow their tracks.
Ну да, действительно ушли они совсем недалеко.
Time to act. Body and mind.
We really outdid ourselves this... All those samurai houses packed with goods. You haven't seen anything yet. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic... You demand, Bob!
These seem like the treasure hoarders...
Another test subject.
No, my sword!
Picked
Вот и все.
the wrong test.
Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal that. Come on, boss. Think of... Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure? Kurosawa. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh?
So what did you see inside?
Food supplies. You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange... I didn't want anyone else to see it. So, but now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal?
You've got a deal.
Huh? What the?
There's nothing in here but
Yeah, and they all seem to be made out to the owner of it. We better talk to this Miss All. As for you guys, you're free.
So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOU.
Shut it.
Интересно, это одна большая организация, которая распространилась по всему миру, эти похитители сокровищ? Или же это те, кто приплыл из Манштата? Впрочем, возможно, я не очень хорошо изучал лор этого мира. Да и я на самом деле вообще почти ничего не читаю.
Body and mind. Time to act. Body and mind.
Наверное, будут новые рецепты здесь продаваться. Новые рецепты, это интересно.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries, or perhaps the... so you're friends of Kurosawa?
Whoa, let's not get ahead of... How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foods. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost.
So that's how you would... But why did he have to purchase a usual amount? If the prices increase...
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provision... Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than...
Wow. Kurosawa, and no one ever appreciated what he did.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, then there wouldn't be... Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never... If you're still curious, why don't you go ask him your... I see. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll...
Sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Oh, but before you go...
But...
Information... Don't worry. I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed.
At least we now know where the emergency provisions are coming from. Let's go talk to Kurosawa again.
Time to act.
Надеюсь, мы пса не задели.
What are you doing?
I presented them with a choice. Either they left. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were just...
Strange. Is that real? I don't really have any such recollection. Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why? But I could not deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense this sword was once... I remember once when I was young. I wanted to sneak out with the... What did he say? It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision... All I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed, and said to me...
Hey, if you look carefully... recognize the words?
Virtue? Somehow those two words taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. But what use of virtue and justice? The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the irony of all of it is, I'm incapable of being a good person. Yet I'm...
Yet another trope. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah. Seems like fortunately for us, let's go find the next port.
Эти совсем недалеко. Ну, конечно же, мы не пойдем цивилизованной дорогой.
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master. Hyman heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end.
Maybe, but... Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right...
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
Вот так всегда. Сначала орут, а потом разбираются.
We just came here to...
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shi, but then we got here and overheard you talk.
From the way you're dressed, please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time. I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? Sensei's name is Domon. A name I'm sure you've already... Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many... He once said that his goal was to become the best, and so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He says the strangest things over and over. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's been possessed by an evil spirit. But if I'm honest, I still have...
The Grand Narukami Shrine.
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the... Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one... So don't worry, Nanako. Since the exorcism will take place this evening, you're both more...
So, losing your vision can cause possession?
Ну, может и не стоит. Надо почту получить. И достижения. Ждем. Чудо или у моря погоды.
Shh. So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't just now, when Nanako was attending to him. She heard him whisper when she asked him who the people were. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew. Others, one of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the ritual has now begun. All we can do is... Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water.
Что, тебя удивила консервная банка Пайман?
Huh? Who's that sneaking around? We won't let them get away with it.
Да-да, Пайман, ты привлекаешь внимание.
Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up?
Да. Ох, проблема кнопок.
Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up.
Блин, вот обновление вышло, а я ведь еще даже вообще ничего почти в нем не изучила. У меня как-то вообще времени нету. Сюжетку вот эту допроходить не могу.
Suspicious person sighted. That's gotta be him.
How did you?
Да ты старый хрен, а мы быстро бегаем.
Disciples? Unless, I guess it.
Excuse me. We're the ones asked, and what are you doing sneaking around these parts?
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you
His senior?
Anzai, yes, that's me. Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him. When we were young, we trained under the same sword. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me. Practitioners of Make Yoshi's Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from. But Domon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beat. Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best sword master barely days. I thought so too at the time. But Domon began making swift. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing.
Sure sounds like he meant business.
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and after that I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down, though, I still respect. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my so you see, I came here not to cause. Okay.
Ты хотел позлорадствовать. Давайте будем откровенны.
You should get back now. The
Seems like we got it wrong this time. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us. Let's.
Пайман, почему ты говоришь о себе в третьем лице?
You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean he's just lost his mind? But how is that?
Nanako, please.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign. But spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed. And all is certainly not lost. For I received word not long ago.
Lady Yai? Is that...
the head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine?
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience. I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei.
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask.
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine.
Я так понимаю, пока нас не помотает по всей карте, квест точно не закончится.
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to?
No.
Но он интересный. У них вообще вот довольно-таки интересный квест в этой игре. Как по мне.
Anyway, you should. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of.
Sure. After all, everyone's... Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find...
Угу. Тут у нас еще ничего не открыто. Неизвестно. Блин, надо допроходить быстренько все это дело. И уже начать изучать мир, а то я играю по этому главному квесту, а мир еще даже и, я говорю, не изучила вообще, в принципе. А интересненько, что тут у них происходит. УГПшечку даже еще не взяла. Вижу. Вижу, наверху. Камень истока. Нет, не то. Или то. Ну, нам это не нужно, нам нужна вот эта. Надо будет потом сходить, подношение сделать Архонту. И резонировать основного персонажа, чтобы он приобрел навыки. Может быть, нам это пригодится, хотя не уверена, у меня несколько этих электроперсонажей. Фишель, Бейдоу, поэтому мне как-то электроперсонажи особо, в принципе, не нужны. Давай, восстанавливайся. И полезем дальше. Ой, как я люблю, когда можно лазить по скалам. Это потрясающе. Это просто потрясающе. Это так прям вот значительно облегчает твою жизнь. А я люблю, когда ее, по крайней мере, не усложняют. О, тут дорога есть. Дорога для лохов. Лазить по скалам для пацанов. Я так и знала, что наебут. Не может сундук просто так стоять. Лезем дальше. Да. Сраные корни. Определенно красивенько. Ну, учитывая, сколько вообще не было новых локаций, это, конечно, прям вот бальзам на душу. Рай для изучения и всего остального. Осталось только маленькая какая-то неувязочка. Найти время. Ну, конечно же, она наверху. Ну и, конечно же, мы пойдем ее достанем. Изучение предыдущих локаций меня уже научило, что надо доставать их сразу. Так, а тут еще что-то есть. Да? Я же ее взяла. О, сундук. А где вот, интересно, еще одна? Где-то там. Ладно, с ней мы разделаемся потом. Идем по квесту. Уютненько у них тут.
Do you think that's Lady Ai? Oh, no wonder Junya was so excited. Also, is it just Paimon?
Нам потом же дадут
Did
вроде
she
бы
look
это,
right
ну, в
at us
смысле,
just now?
когда-нибудь.
It was
У нас
probably
будет этот
nothing.
персонаж.
It's not like she's ever seen us before.
Keep away. Keep away
Кстати,
from
о
I gave
великом
up the art of the
китайском
sword.
рандоме.
Please.
Последнего
Let me go,
постера
I'll beg you.
мне не упал пятизвездочный персонаж, зато мне выпала Джейн. Нам.
As you can see, Lady Ai,
У которой не было 50% шанса дропа, но она мне выпала.
Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him.
Lady Ai, it must be a possession. This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came...
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed. But... yes. This is unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under. He suffered a spiritual collapse. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Ai, even without his ambition...
Your school practices make you stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if there was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both?
Lady Ai, I'm not sure
The path of the sword master is filled with twists and turns. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of the... When that ambition disappeared,
Фанатик своего
he
дела.
began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly descended in...
Poor sensei. To think...
I'm sorry, Father. Since
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that odd? Did he follow us the whole...
Hansai, why are there two of you? You're here for revenge, aren't you?
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, when you cut our ambitions short, we entrusted them to you. Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer, but that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of...
But what if one day the same thing happened? I put everything I had into trying to become the best. If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they...
Have you asked them what they...
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirate, I can't know whether I will suffer in my future. I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that
Подхалимка.
like...
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually...
И ты подхалим.
Well...
You see? You can place the ambition. Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have
Сейчас наверняка еще,
ambitions
кстати, надо будет к
crushed.
этой бабе вернуться.
So,
После того, как мы с
just
этими
as
тремя
I once
пиздим.
placed my ambitions onto you, you are not in the same position that I was. When I left,
I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state of Miyakyo. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffer, but as your sensei, I shall... This is my promise. And I humbly ask...
You can count on that. I'd be checking, but I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore. Well, don't just stand there staring at me.
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over on his behalf.
Traveler, a moment, please. Lady...
So, the wind that blows from afar carries fresh... For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, You set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment.
Подумаешь, Фифа. Ну давай, перематывайся.
I have high hopes for you, child.
Ooh, Lady Ice, she seems super mysterious. We can come back to it another time.
Ожидаемо. Интересно, на возвращении к госпоже закончится квест? И надо будет наконец-то приступить к изучению мира. Ну, на самом деле я вообще не очень понимаю, конечно, зачем я взялась снимать прохождение. Оно как бы никакой информативности в себе не носит. И вообще как бы, ну, я ни о чем тут не рассказываю, ни об обновлении, ни о чем. Но, собственно, почему бы и нет? Господи, на ютубе полно всякого трешака, и добавится еще мой. Ну, здоровки.
Traveler, Paimon. It is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face.
А до этого что тебе мешало?
I have heard all about how you helped our three friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Yeah. Short of Ayaka, how come this time
Because now that you have done the 3 things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. But isn't Toma your, servant?
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining. Toma is...
Oh. Okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different now.
Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what you have seen?
Да насрать. Вот серьезно.
Perhaps in the eyes of a deity such as the almighty Shogun, the thunders roar, lightnings flash, the winds assault, and the rains descent. But I believe that surely you understand what they... It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case you will...
Ну, у тебя-то глаз Бога, конечно, есть.
Naturally.
All right, bravo, my lady.
See? I told you she wouldn't reject them. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature, perhaps we could move to...
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll...
So, what's the deal with this place anyway? What makes...
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and such
Кстати, я почему-то вспомнила, когда был баннер Тарталий. Мне не выпал Тарталия, мне выпал Делюк.
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here.
Makes sense. Perfect place.
In any case, we can talk freely here. Of course. We have tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, each time they invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the... It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision. The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt Decree is something that has... After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive... Because of this, the attitude of...
How can they be like...
Nevertheless, in addition
Паймон, ты
to us,
консервная
there
банка.
is also the resistance on Watatsumi Island.
Resistance? You mean like an army fighting...
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya. To say a little more about Sangonomiya, historically, there has always been some conflict, but I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance. The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on, but only she inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a sense of absolute authority. It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more a...
Ooh, Paimon has a question.
Oh? What would you like?
Have you got a plan yet to fight the vision?
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt decree is tantamount to challenging a deity.
So what are we gonna do?
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try... For example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge.
You're telling Paimon that there are people...
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are indistinguishable from the genuine article. The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who was providing us with
Мы пойдем его потом вытаскивать, да.
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of time before it would be exposed. Exactly. I feel the same way. But given mine and Toma's identities as part of the Yashiro Commission, by no means do we... When you are ready, go to Hanamizaka and look for a fireworks shop run by...
Определенно очень длинный квест.